Okay, so we just finished talking about resource management, and now I want to talk to you about the secret shop. So I'm going to do a few rolls for you, and then I'm going to explain some mechanics of this. And hopefully we get lucky. If we don't, that's fine. I'm just going to spend like maybe 30 skystones doing this, and just to show you. So right here, as you can see, the shop refreshes naturally in 25 minutes from now. What really is going on is there's an hour timer on this once you refresh it. So every hour, the secret shop naturally refreshes. This is how you should normally play the game. Just check in. If you want to be super hardcore, set a timer. Hey Siri, set timer for 1 hour. You know, something simple as that. And no, Siri, I don't actually want you to set a timer for an hour. I'm probably gonna have a timer go off in an hour and be like, why? But if you want to be that hardcore, go for it. I do that only when I know something very big's coming and I'm trying to get the maximum amount of refreshes for free in the game. So right here, everything here is garbage. There's nothing you want here. You don't buy fodder, you don't buy green gear, you don't buy hero or any sort of fodder, you don't even buy the friendship bookmarks. Don't do any of this. None of this is good. All right? So let's go ahead, let's jump into it. We're gonna spend a couple sky stones. Let's see here. Everything here is garbage. Let's go again. Everything is garbage. We've got garbage. So right here we go. We didn't have to go far. Down here, you can see Covenant bookmarks. I can only buy this once. That means once per roll. So if I refresh this again, that means I can buy it again. So here's where you're basically spending a portion of your gold and your sky stones is in this secret shop. Now I'm gonna throw a couple numbers at you, whether it makes sense to you or not. Let me bring up my secret shop calculator because I built a full spreadsheet calculator on this. So the last big session I did I spent 1,692 sky stones. So 1,692 of those were spent, which was a total of 564 refreshes. So I clicked that button 564 times, and I gained 180 of these bookmarks in total. So 180 divided by 5, and then I gained 550 mystic medals, which you haven't seen show up yet from that refresh. That basically comes down to I'm getting 9.4 sky stones per bookmark. So for 9.4 sky stones, I'm gaining 1 bookmark. Why this is so huge, and I can come back to this in a second, is let's go to look at the shop, which is where people typically judge this from. If you were to come here and buy this pack right here for 950 sky stones, you're gonna get 50 Covenant bookmarks, which is 19 sky stones per bookmark. So right there at 9.4 or 19, which one sounds like the better deal? Right. Yes. If you said 19, you're an idiot. Get out. Just go. No, it's 9.4. That's the better deal. So that's why we say shop refresh is the best place to get bookmarks. At the cost of, this costs you gold. So now here's where the second step comes in. So we're going to go ahead and buy this because I'm not going to let this go. In that refresh, to get the bookmarks that I bought, it cost me 6,624,000 gold to buy the 180 bookmarks. So it does get expensive. I think if the full math plays out, it's 22 million to buy an entire pity, a little more than 22 million. So we'll say 23 million gold to buy an entire pity. So I have an entire pity worth of gold. Now, is that what you should flush all your gold down? Depends on where you're at in the game. Are you at the point of you're so new you can't grind and you have such few units? Okay, and it's a really important unit and you have 20 million, and let's say Tamarin shows up, or what's another RGB that would be very, very huge? Like Landy, I think we mentioned. I actually have to look at some RGBs because I'm actually drawing a blank of like super important. Yeah, Tamarin's definitely one. I'd honestly say Lilius could be a very important pull for some players, depending on how you want to play. She's a fantastic unit, but Yeah, like most of these I would say I wouldn't even bother pulling for. But like, let's say like limiteds. So collab units or things like that. So collab units, limited units, and you have 22 million and you don't really have a whole lot of gold, and it's Seaside Bologna or Landy, or if you're watching this in November and Luna shows up and you happen to have 22 million gold, Luna's not going to come back for a whole nother year, and you really like the way she looks, even though she's not that great right now. Hopefully they buff her. I'm speaking to the future Smilegate. Hopefully you buff Luna on the next year's buff, and or the next pass on our anniversary of Luna. Maybe she gets a buff and it'd be great. So you can come in here and do that. Now, by spending gold, you're taking gold away from your gear. So do note that, because it costs about 3 million, 4 million, around 3-4 million to plus 15 a piece of gear. So just in that, I could have plus 15 2 pieces of gear. Now, in that entire roll, I spent 9,700,000 and 704,000 gold in the entire project when I did that one entire shop refresh. So I spent 10 million gold just buying bookmarks. So be careful with your resources. This is where most of your Skystones go. I'm not judging you if you have no gold and there is a limited unit or a unit, that waifu or that husbando that shows up. I don't judge you if you come over and you just zero out and you're like, I need this unit. No, don't zero out in one click. Come back and buy it one at a time, because you could pull them literally the next bookmark. So I don't judge you if you do that. I may end up doing that myself when certain said undisclosed units come out. But I'll also end up being in a different place. This is just pulling up. I really don't spend my Skystones for anything. I really don't. So that's the secret shop. Now, a couple things that I want to point out, because there are going to be players that if you get this information, they may say one or two things. There is a small group of people who say don't refresh the shop until you hit max level shop. The only reason you should ever consider that information is if you are worried about getting red gear. Now, I will show you one piece of red gear I got out of the shop, and it was awesome. It could go really bad really quickly. But there you go. There is your prime example of why you should probably not refresh the shop till you hit max level, because that can't show up unless it's max level. Here's the thing though. Out of all the shop refreshes I've done, and I've pulled 3 pities for Guilty Gear out of it. I pulled several hundred out for Tamarin and Vivian. I pulled several hundred out for that. I've only seen 2 usable pieces, and I may have bought 1 purple piece just because it was max rolled, and I was like, screw it, I'm curious. Spoiler, it turned out okay. It kind of went crap, but it was okay. It ended up getting replaced. But don't feel like you have to listen to them. The only thing that changes, the drop rate doesn't change. I noticed no difference in any of my data from early shop refreshes to max level shop refreshes. The weight of the Mystic bookmarks, the weight of the Covenant bookmarks are not changed. The only thing you're dealing with in leveling the shop up, which yes, still please level the shop up as you level up your account. But that's the only thing you're really after that changes, is the red gear of being able to show up max. That's it. None of my data has ever shown anything else between early shop level and my max shop level. It was just RNG. I've literally had a horrible run on, say, Wednesday, and then Sunday I roll again. I'm like, screw it, I'm going back in, and it turns out to be an amazing session where it's like less than 9 Skystones per bookmark, and I'm like over here going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Or it's almost like, oh my god, I should have just bought the bookmarks outright. I've had a couple days where I was like a Skystone behind from just buying it. But I just had 2 really bad runs of nothing. But then I had a crap load of runs that brought that number way down because I got bookmark after bookmark after bookmark after that. So I'm not going to re-roll the shop anymore because I did the job. I showed you a Covenant bookmark showing up. Mystic Metals will show up in here. You do need to scrub through because they can show up both on the same banner. You will not see, or on the same page. You will not see 2 Covenant bookmarks on the same page. You will not see 2 Mystic Metals on the same page. But you can see a Mystic Metal and Covenant bookmarks on the same page. I had it happen a couple times. So that's the secret shop in a nutshell. This is where the majority of your Skystones go if you're after for summoning. Other than that, save them for when you need them, because those packs are expensive, as you can see. Like I say, I'll say it one last time. My average is around 10. The average of that last roll was 9.4. So I'm spending 10 Skystones per bookmark, or I'm almost doubling my cost at 20 Skystones per bookmark to just outright buy them from the shop. That is called Desperation Station. Try to stay away from it, guys. I promise you, it's not worth it. So let's move on to the next section.